but I do remember landing back in the UK, not less than 24 hours before that, maybe less than that. I'd been in a huge firefight, and the next thing I'm in Starbucks in London, and I'm getting, people moaning in front about a lukewarm coffee, and, just having this moment of perspective. It's everything. It's weird.
So let's talk about leaving the army. How did that come about? What had changed? What was your plans for next?
Yeah, I think I'm probably, just to sort of wrap that part up, I think for me, the military gave me I'm very fortunate, for the people that I met and everything that it allowed me to do, and the experiences and opportunities and the doors that it opened were incredible, and some fantastic memories. And I think what it gave me is a very unique perspective on life, on things. I remember coming back from I think it's on an R&R period, so arrest and recuperation. During a 6-month operational tour, you go home for 2 weeks, which is odd, but it's obviously for tax purposes, not really that they're that bothered about the individual, but they have to break you out they say it's for rest and recuperation, but who wants to go home for 2 weeks when they've been, operating in the madness for that long? It's just an unwelcomed, strange feeling. But I do remember landing back in the UK, not less than 24 hours before that, maybe less than that. I'd been in a huge firefight, and the next thing I'm in Starbucks in London, and I'm getting, people moaning in front about a lukewarm coffee, and, just having this moment of perspective. It's everything. It's weird. And, so leaving the military for me in 2018, I finished as my last 2 years, I was the chief sniper instructor for the whole unit. So I was involved with the training and operational deployment of the squadrons for long range shooting, but I was also a small arms fire instructor as well, from pistol to close quarter combat stuff. And I enjoyed that. I enjoyed the element of training and teaching people and passing on knowledge. I enjoyed it. But I think for me, I was 13 years in. We signed an open engagement contract for 22 years in the military. You then put in 1 year's notice to leave beforehand, and then the military take that 1 year, and depending on how long you've done, you have built up learning credits and money that you can put towards courses, university courses, or if you want to be an electrician, you can be enrolled for a year onto an electrician's course. But for me, I think the wind had just been sort of taken out of my sails. I think I had 13 years, but 10 in particular, my more formative years, within the SBS, that had really shaped me and my career. And I just thought I've kind of ticked the majority, if not all, of the boxes that I wanted to tick. I'd had such an amazing time and a fantastic career. And also it had taken a toll on, my first marriage. I'd met a partner at a very young age, at 18, married super early at 21. We had a kid, my eldest Lucas, who's now 11. And we went all through that whole process together, and it just took a huge toll. And I thought, then as I was leaving, we were separated for a couple of years, and I met my now wife, Ruby, and I just thought, I don't want to see this happen again. I've found somebody, special, and what does life look like on the outside for me? And when do I want to leave? Do I want to leave on my own terms, or do I want to leave on other people's terms? And I saw a lot of people that were in the job that were staying on later and longer, that weren't actually enjoying the jobs that they were doing. And as you get older and the more experience you gain, rightfully so, you'll then move further and further back, from that tip of and you've got an important job. You're looking after the guys, and planning and training, and you're one of the bosses, and you have sergeant major level bits and pieces, but it didn't really appeal to me as an individual. And I think leaving it, in 2018, I was 33 at the time. I still had what I felt is a good crack at the whip to do something different. I still had a lot of energy and a new chapter that I felt I could still provide a lot of passion and purpose into something new. So in 2017, I started thinking about it more. My friend and business partner, co-founder of Through Dark, Louis Tinsley, was also in the SBS. His situation was slightly different. We were actually parachuting out in America, training at the time, and he was being medically discharged for his back. So he was leaving, his kind of hand was forced, and we started talking about, I sort of said, look, I think I'm ready to leave as well. I've had an amazing career. I've done everything I wanted to do. what could we do if we left? Should we set something up? Should we, the obvious, I think, more natural transition for us with our skill sets is to go into private security. Our skills are very transferable, highly paid jobs, looking after people, and we did a bit of that when we left. And we were cherry picking jobs, working for the NBA, and we were doing the Super Bowls, we were doing basketball, high profile stuff, and it was fun, it was good, and I was surrounded by, again, those like-minded people from former special forces guys, and it was safe, and it was something that I knew and I could obviously clearly just move straight into. But I think for me and Louis, we wanted something different, and we loved the outdoors, we loved technical clothing and bits and pieces, and we started talking about actually at the time we were parachuting again, and I was having issues with kit and equipment and a jacket, and actually during that parachute failure that we spoke about in the first chapter of the book, the jacket, to add insult to injury, the zip had blown as well, and the sort of jacket was flaming in my face, and it was a high-end technical piece of kit, and we were sort of critical about how things were performing, and being from a sniper background, we were sort of kit pests, we were always tinkering and playing with our own kit and equipment to make it more fit for purpose. And for us, when we looked at it, semi-objectively, we thought that we have a lot of credibility, authenticity, and experience in operating in all these different environments in the world, from the cold, the Arctic, to the desert, to the jungle, Scotland, all these places that we'd operated and thrived in. We thought, and we loved the outdoors. Well, why don't we just make technical outdoor clothing? How hard could it be? Naively. And I think, you need a bit of naivety, don't you? You'll know this as well, Matt. And it's whenever you're starting something new, whether it's military or whether it's business, you need that level of, let's get stuck in, and you kind of work things out as you go along. But again, there were transferable things from the military that we learned that are in the book that really helped us plan and focus in the best possible ways. And I was fortunate because I had Louis by my side as well, who's exceptional, very, very good, and we're actually quite different in terms of who we are and where our strengths and weaknesses lie as well, and they complement each other very well. And I think that's been one of the main, is the main key to what has been Through Dark success as well.